Hello and welcome to our today's tutorial. Our today's learning outcome. We are going to look at the examples of safety hazard in our workplace. There are two types of hazards, health hazard and number two is safety hazards. So here are the examples of safety hazards that we are going to talk about. But before we continue, we need to know what are the safety hazards. So safety hazards, these are types of hazards which are capable of causing immediate physical harm or injuries to a person. And here is an example of these hazards. Hazard number one is work at height. Work at height can be any type of work activity that is done above the ground. Any type of work activity that is done above the ground, and it requires a platform that can assist in reaching a given workplace. Let's say, for example, you are painting, you are doing a painting work, and therefore you can't reach the wall properly and you cannot do your work properly, and therefore you need a platform or an elevated platform so that it can assist you to reach where you want to do your work. That is what we call work at height. Work at height is a type of safety hazard because it causes physical injuries or physical harm. And this happens where you can slide from the elevated platform and you fall on the ground. When you fall on the ground, the severity depends on the surface you are going to fall. Number two, stacked materials. If you have so many materials which are blocking the exit routes, it is likely going to cause a physical harm, because let's say, for example, there is no enough visibility, there is no enough lights in a room or in a workplace. Therefore, if there are a rampant placed on the exit routes or all over the workplace, you may end up slide and fall on these materials. Number three, moving vehicles. If your work area has got moving vehicles, let's say the jack lifts or tractors, so any given vehicle that is moving about the workplace, it is likely to cause a physical harm or physical injury. When you are knocked down by a car in the workplace, you may end up get a broken hand or broken leg, or you can, in some worst circumstances, you can even die. So this is also an example. This is also an example of a safety hazard. Number four, we have moving parts of a machine. Moving parts of a machine also possess physical hazards. It possesses a safety hazard. And the reason is because if you come in between the moving parts of a machine, you will end up being crushed. Whether your hand enters there or your finger or your leg or your part of the part of your body will get crushed, and this is one of the effect or physical damage of your body. Number five, manual handling. Number five, manual handling. The handling or carrying materials from one place to another manually, that is what we call manual handling. And manual handling can be done by the use of machines, or it can also be done by a human being. So manual handling also causes physical injuries, which also lies on the categories of safety hazard. The next step of safety hazard is electricity. Electricity possesses physical harm or injuries. When you come into contact with an electricity or naked cable or a live cable, then the electric shock that you will be given or you will get will end up either paralyze your body, or it will cause damage into your body tissues. So this is also an example of safety hazard. Another type of hazard is toxic or corrosive chemicals. If we have chemicals in the workplace and you come into contact, either the chemicals fumes comes into your eyes or you inhale, this will cause physical injury. Therefore, it is part of the safety hazard. Another type of safety hazard is deep water. Let's give an example of a swimming pool. If a child enters into the swimming pool, into the deep water where he cannot manage to escape from the water, the child may end up drowning. So drowning is a type of a physical damage, or it is an example of safety hazard. Another example is violent people. There are people who are violent and they can start fight in a workplace. There are people who harass other people in the workplace. This is also an example of a safety hazard. Another example of safety hazard is a naked flame or naked fire. If you put your finger on a naked flame, then you may end up burned. So the burn is an example of physical injury or physical harm, which lies under the category of safety hazard. And the second last example of safety hazard, is propane torch. When you are using the propane gas to cut some metals, then just remember that your fingers or your leg is also prone to the cut, because if you mistakenly pass the torch across your finger, then you may end up cut your leg or your finger. So this is also an example of safety hazard. And the last example is animals such as dogs. Animals sometimes are also violent and they are dangerous, and they may end up causing physical harm into your body or into a body of a person. So if a dog jumps into your body and bites you, this is an example of physical injury or physical damage into your body, and it lies on the type of safety hazard. As I said in the beginning, that there are two main types of hazards, and that is safety hazards and physical safety hazard and health hazard. And this will mark the end of our today's tutorial. Let's meet in the next tutorial where we are going to talk about the health hazard and how they cause the damage to the mankind or the people in our workplace. So in the next video, we're going to talk about the health hazard and how they cause harm to the workers or the people, and how they can be controlled. Thank you very much to be with me until the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and let's meet in the next video.